The internet, it's killing us. That's what I think.
I could agree with that. For a big fact. A lot of people they're losing their identity without the internet. Hard to hold conversations, hard to talk to people. A lot of things just don't make any sense to people anymore.
My thing is, when the internet was like, when they made it, the idea of it was great. And the internet can be beautiful, you know what I mean? When like some kid is dying of something and he needs some money, and everyone in the world could like find out about it through the internet. But a lot of times, it's not how the internet's used. It's used for like validation. It's like another world. It's like a pocket dimension in your
Yeah,
pocket.
bro.
Like you go on there, and you just, it's like a whole nother you inside of your phone.
It's crazy though, it's because it's like when you think about like the internet and shit like that, social media, it's like people just real life only go on there, and it's like if they don't have that shit, like first thing in the morning, like you wake up, like your identity is literally the phone. That shit is crazy. I was like killing people.
Yeah, for me myself, like I be catching myself, like I be feeling like I'm missing out by not checking my Snapchat, not checking my Instagram, and I'm like it's like my life, like what's going on in my life on this phone. But it's not my life. It's it's digital. I'm not really looking at anything.
Right, and it's also that instant gratification. Some people gotta learn that without the technology, it's cool to get a little delayed gratification. You don't always need instant gratification, because I think that's what it's done to people nowadays. Just open the door for instant gratification.
Man, let's talk about the future of this. Like,
Go ahead.
it's only gonna get worse. Agreed.
Probably. Well, I think there's room for it to be used in, because there's instances where the internet can be used to do great things, but what comes great things, like also comes people that are going to do terrible things, like
But the thing
bullying,
about it
stuff
is,
like that.
if you're talking about the future of it, it could get worse, but it's like anything in life you look at, like, before there's good, there's bad. So I don't know, maybe it could turn out good if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because maybe it could just be a revolution for something that we just don't know.
I think it depends on the people, because if the people are bad, there's going to be bad things to come with it. Cause just like guns, guns, when you made guns, it wasn't made to be a bad thing. It's made for protection and used to like, for wars, things like that. But when you have bad people, they're gonna do bad things with it. So like just like with the internet, like it can be taken bad, but I guess we'll never know.
But then again, like I said, it's just like, for example, like you go on the internet and you can go there and purchase things that are beneficial to you, or even social media. It's a good platform for business, but when you start taking it out of context is when it gets bad.
And there's like certain people are in so deep that it's like their real life is like a fake life, and their phone is or the internet is where their real life lies. Like certain people will kill themselves over things that happen on the internet. They'll have whole arguments. Like essentially, you're talking to yourself in a room by yourself, and you're getting so frustrated, sad, angry, happy over things that you're seeing on a screen that aren't even really there. And it's sad that we're this far.
Do you think social media platforms should have a moderation in how much time people can use them per day?
I think like Pandora's box. I think for the future precipice, like for kids that are coming up, yeah. But I think for people in this generation, it's been like the box has been open so far. People like the Apple notification sends you like 13 hours of screen times today, or like how much you spend on the week on your screen. And it's like some people are too far gone. Like you spend more time on your phone than you do like awake.
Right. So with that being said, because I do realize that the metaverse is also becoming a thing, and do you feel like people would just want to appropriate to the metaverse lifestyle, where they can just physically modify themselves how they want, or do you think that it should become an end to all social media and all technology platforms now?
I think it's balance, right? Like you name like two extremes. I think like the middle, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because the whole modifying thing.
Because if you look at it nowadays, like you got people going on GTA and modifying themselves how they want, buying all the clothes that they never had, and they feel complete. But when they look on themselves in the real world, it's just like, who am I? So I feel like if you don't terminate something, like in life, to be great, something you have to sacrifice something. So it's either if they don't sacrifice, the metaverse and games and being able to moderate the amount of time people go on these things, it's just gonna get worse.
I think it's gonna make more division, like more factors of people. Because me myself personally, I believe that the more people that like have less in life spend more time on the internet. Well, for men particularly, like women, I feel like all women spend time on the internet for validation. But for men, typically, like if you don't have stuff going on, if you're not messing with girls, you're not going out to parties, you're not going out to yachts, you're not really on the internet like that. You know what I mean? But like certain guys, when they don't have shit going on, their whole life is on the internet, games, all the stuff like that.
See, you brought up a good point now. So here's my thing, right? Women with validation and using social media. If a woman is in a relationship, right? What point is it for her to go on these platforms and seek validation when she's trying to build something serious with her partner?
Yeah, that's big right there. I don't think she should. Like, I think it's like any type of validation she's seeking outside of her partner is kind of wild. Because my thing is, like, you ever see a girl get into a relationship and she's in a relationship because she don't post nothing?
Right.
Like they stop posting nothing because they're happy in their relationship. Like they don't even think to themselves, "I'm done posting," because I don't like. They just stop doing it because they don't need that validation no more because they're getting it from someone. But you see girls, like as soon as they get into it, like as soon as they like break up with their mans, back on the Instagram, back to posting regularly. I could tell when people are in and out of relationships just off their posting habits. And with that being said, like if you're in a relationship and you're posting and you're trying to, get validation from a bunch of different men, I think that's cheating. Personally, that's just me. Because think about it, like if I'm like she gonna have problems with me liking a bunch of bikini pics from other girls, right?
Which is true. I mean, Doc, how you feel about that, man?
I feel where you're coming from, but like, don't you feel like there's levels to validation? Like she might like likes, she might like comments and shit.
Mm-hmm.
How do you correlate that to like cheating?
That's a great question.
This also goes back to the point in terms of instant gratification. Yeah. It's because you're going on there because you understand that you're getting instant gratification, but it's okay to have delayed gratifications because sometimes when you're doing something, it takes a while for you to actually get the result that you're looking for. So if it's like somebody saying, "Wow, you look good," doesn't mean you have to spend 5 seconds posting a photo for 1,000 people to let you know you look good. Why can't it just be when you're going on a walk, you pass a gentleman and he's able to address you like, "Wow, you look good"?
I was gonna say, to answer your question, Doc, for me it's like about respect. Because if I go on my Instagram and I follow a bunch of girls with bikinis and shit like that, and I'm liking, commenting, doing all that stuff, right? She's gonna feel a type of way if she can see that, right? So if it's not a big issue, like if she could sit here and get like likes and comments from a bunch of other men, why can't I like and comment on a bunch of other girls? You know what I'm saying? If she feels like I'm offending her by liking other girls, why is it okay for her to accept likes from other men?
Word. What if she doesn't feel offended though?
If she doesn't feel offended by me liking other girls' pictures, then she's really not about me. She doesn't care about me. She better be pissed as hell if I'm liking other girls' pictures.
I got you.
But at the end of the day, we are visual creatures, so it's like if you see a nice car, you're gonna like it. If you see a nice girl, you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, we don't hold sentimental value to those things. It's just like eye candy, man. You see stuff, you like it.
Yeah, that's fact. Like I'm not gonna like if she sees a guy that she thinks is more attractive than me, that's cool. but I don't expect you to give them a like. You know what I'm saying? That's like blatant disrespect, especially a like that I can see on the internet. So if I see 100,000 likes on her page while she's famous, she got 100,000 dudes that think she's cute. She's putting herself on the chopping block for me to get like. She's giving herself up to get stolen from me. That's how I see it.
I get you. See now, here's where it gets weird, just because you got too many dudes in this world that made it okay to like be comfortable in your skin, or like comfortable, like, oh, whatever they say nowadays. Oh, I'm comfortable. I know my girl won't cheat on me, but you're giving her room to cheat on you. You agree with me?
I do agree with you. I think in a relationship, girls like the I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a woman, but I feel like they like the chase. Like they want you. They want it to be. They don't want to lose the feeling of the chase. They don't want to lose that like that attraction to begin with. They don't want to lose that intensity, that spark. So when when they feel comfortable, that's when they start to like fall out of love.
A lot of love, definitely.
So if you keep it like it's interesting, enticing, on the edge of their seat, thinking like, here, like there's nothing toxic, but like just a little, what I mean, never let her know your full intentions, and then she'll always be like that's why girls love mysterious guys. They can't figure them out, and they spend their whole life loving them and trying to figure it out.
Figure it out, yeah.
Great point.
I think one of the best things I've heard though is really and truly the thought that when you're in a relationship, right, you always have to give your partner that thought process that they can lose you at any time.
Yeah, you gotta go in letting them know, like, I have love for you, but I don't need you. And if this doesn't work out, I can leave and I'll be perfectly fine. If they know that, then they won't be trying to. There's a whole lot of problems.
The whole dynamic changes. It's because now they don't come in with that same thought process. Because once you allow them to have that thought process, then it becomes that. But you have to establish that from Jump Street, because you always have to understand, women are always looking for men to be leaders. So, if it dies down, then it's like, okay, I can control the narrative of this relationship.